to Dustin's Vinyl. That's where you're coming.
That's right. Here we are. It's not Dustin's Vinyl this week again. Once again, it's Adam, Anthony, and Jeff's Vinyl. Dustin is away. Listen, people don't understand this about Dustin. Dustin is kind of a big deal. He is on the road. He's doing comedy. He's in airports. He's doing stuff. And hopefully we'll see him next week. But in the meantime, you got Adam Holtz. You have Anthony Kapfer. You got me, Jeffrey Paul, and we are ready to do this. So let's kick things off. We're going to kick things off with this. Interesting weekend for me. This is the first time in, I can't even imagine how many weekends I did not do comedy, and it was all about music. And it started Friday night. I went out to MetLife Stadium with Sean Morton, and we went to see Mammoth, which is Eddie Van Halen's son's band. Okay. Opened the show. Pretty good. Like them. Played a couple of new songs, which were very good. Followed by, I thought, one of the surprise acts of the year, which was Pantera.
Oh, yeah.
With Charlie from Anthrax and Zakk Wylde on guitar. And I got to say, man, from beginning to end, they just absolutely tore it up. It was, the energy, it was, the crowd was just really digging Pantera. Phil Anastasio sounded amazing. They were just great. They were just really great. Followed by Metallica. And Metallica is doing this thing where they're playing in the middle of fields. They're doing two shows a weekend. They're doing a Friday night and a Sunday night, and it's no repeats. So it's not on each set. You're not going to hear the same song. You're not going to see the same two opening acts. It is completely different. So
how long are their sets? Full sets or festival sets?
No, they are full sets. This is my take on Metallica. I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass because it was the opening night of the American leg of the tour. The first four songs out of the gate I thought were really, really hot, really good. And then somewhere along the line, they turned into Fish or the Dave Matthews Band.
No, come on. Wait, okay, so what did they play off the top? Like what? Like early stuff? Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets?
No, they closed with that. See, I thought the last 6 songs were they didn't do Ride the Lightning the night I was there, but they did Seek and Destroy. They did Fuel.
So they're doing early first couple albums.
But they mix it up. The middle stuff was some obscure thing. There was songs like Orion. And then there was stuff off of the new album, Season 72, with about 72 seasons. Yeah. And just a lot of slower jam type of stuff. That's why I was referring to them as Fish or
Fish.
Yeah, Fish or the Dave Matthews Band. So I got to say, I thought the middle of it was a little boring. I thought it was a little sloppy as well. But
Lars?
Lars was great. Lars is a beast. He is the master of that band. He is a phenomenal drummer.
So who was sloppy?
I just put the whole thing itself. There was like breaks in the set. It just you can tell like when a band is tight and the show is tight. I thought the show was a little off. I thought they were good. It's great hearing those riffs.
Probably because there's no repeats, so they're doing a fresh show.
So like the song like I really wanted to hear. One of the songs that really got me into Metallica was Sad But True. And I'm glad that they did it that night. The other song that I absolutely love is One, but they didn't do it.
They did it the second night.
They did it the second night. They did Seek and Destroy the night that I went. Great song. But they did For Whom the Bell Tolls the
another
second
great
night.
one.
Right. So, you look at the set list, and I think it's about even. I think if you combine both set lists and you take out like some of the newest stuff, and even like the newest stuff, I wanted to hear Lux Eterna, and they did it the second night. They didn't do it the night that I went, but they were fine. The second night, Saturday night, I was with the Smithereens.
Oh,
and in a small little place, almost like it was a place called Artie's Bar and Grill. And the venue itself, I had done comedy there on the inside, but they have kind of like a backyard, and it's literally like a backyard. And maybe there were 500 people there, and Marshall Crenshaw was on vocals, and they were good. They're always good. They're always, they're tight. Their songs are 4 minutes, or less, so they play a ton of songs. And for the encore, they did the, what's that band? Who sings, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on it. They were on the Beatles label. Bob Mooland was in the band.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank. This is me getting old. But anyway, that was my weekend. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this stupid song. But yeah, this was, I went to go see some live music. So that was pretty cool. And like
nice.
So now I'm back to chomping at the bit with comedy this week. What about you guys? What are you guys up to? Anything live? Some random pulls? What do we got?
Well, I got some random polls.
Oh, do it.
All right. So I figured since we're going to be talking about our favorite summer tracks, I would pull out some albums that are either remind me of summer or they were big in the summer. So to start with, let's see what's over here. All right. So I always think 80s hair metal goes good with the summer. So we got Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In.
Great one.
And this is you got Talk Dirty to Me on this one. You got I Want Action, Play Dirty. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, Look What the Cat Dragged In. Been open a few years.
And then I'll follow it up with some Hysteria. There we go.
Hysteria. Okay.
And this has got Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon, Love Bites, Animal Rocket. Great album.
The question is always this: which is the better album, Hysteria or Pyromania?
Ooh, I like Hysteria, but it's more for nostalgia for me. Because I mean, I think Hysteria was 87. Was it 87 or?
I thought it was earlier.
Let me see.
Because Pyromania is kind of like
87. Yep,
it is. Okay.
But
that's it, Adam.
Yeah, 87.
Why go on?
I am trying to find that song because I'm not going to be able to do the show if I don't get the name of that song.
I already forgot about it.
Me too.
See, that's the difference between me and you, Anthony. I will obsess upon this stupid song. Okay, here was the song. The song was Badfinger, and the song, the group is Badfinger, and the song is No Matter What.
Okay.
You know that song, Anthony?
I don't. Badfinger, they did Feel Like Making Love, right?
No,
that
wasn't Badfinger?
That's Bad Company.
Oh, it's Bad Company. Yeah. You know what? I don't know what Badfinger did then.
You would know. They had a couple of hits. They had Come and Get It. If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Yeah. But I think No Matter What is probably their biggest hit. And if you heard the song, you would definitely know it. I'm sorry to go. I could not do this show if I did not get that out of the way. So I'm glad I got that out of the way.
Right. Yeah.
What else you got there, Adam?
Good thing.
All right. So we're going to stick with the 80s, and I'm going to go with the Cars, the self-titled. I think it was the self-titled debut, right?
Yeah.
It's
a great album. That's like half their greatest hits album right there.
Yeah. I mean, you got Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, You're All I've Got Tonight, Living in Stereo. Oh, such a good one.
Just What I Needed is on there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So good.
I don't think the Cars ever had a bad album. Try and find me the bad Cars album. I think you'd have a hard time doing that.
Right. All right, I'll go with one more. I'm going to go with the Shins, Inverted World from 2001. I think it was 2001. And this one was very much like when I first heard it, just sounded like the Beach Boys, and definitely a pretty big album in the early aughts, and a very influential one too. This is the one that's got new slang on it. But definitely a great album front to back.
I never really got into them.
I haven't heard of them in such a long time. That band name.
Is that would that be the one to start with if you were looking to go back and revisit some of that stuff?
I would start with that and then go to their next one, Shoots Too Narrow. And I mean, both albums are perfect albums. They kind of drop off a bit after that. James Mercer fired the entire band, and then he went off and did I think Wincing the Night Away is the one afterwards, which was still pretty good too. But yeah, they haven't put out anything in a while.
Are they still a band?
It's pretty much just him.
Oh,
I
and
don't even know if they're just Tom Schultz.
Is it?
Yeah. He would always hire these other guys to play. Brad Delp got a lot of the credit too because he was the voice, but Tom Schultz wrote all the music, wrote the songs, played basically all the instruments, mixed the studio, the album in his own home studio. I mean, he did everything. How about you, Ant? Any random pulls?
I don't have any random ones today.
Okay,
sorry.
No worries. So before we get into the second part of what we started last week, and we'll get into that in a second, just wanted to talk and mention this kind of a sad note. Robbie Robinson from the guitarist from the band. He was the primary songwriter, the principal songwriter on such like legendary songs like The Wait.
Great song.
Yeah, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Up on Cripple Creek, a bunch of other classics. He died at the age of 80. He was, really, when you see the accolades that came in, just everyone hailed this guy as a musical genius. I remember listening to him and, seeing him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame years ago. And they were playing these songs, and The Wait is just one of those big jam songs that everybody would just jump on, just legendary. You'll never be forgotten. And then when the band broke up, he had a solo album, and he had a really, really dark song called Somewhere Down the Lazy River. And it was just like such a haunting song. And he had like that Lou Reed tone to him at this point, but he did it better than Lou Reed. That talk singing, this music was just so much better and so much moodier. And he was really, he's going to be missed. And he was, like I said, great songwriter in a very, very influential band.
Yeah, my band connection is in my early 20s. I was in a band. I was a drummer in a band, and me and the lead singer, we would sometimes busk in the subways in New York, and we used to sometimes do The Wait. So he'd be playing guitar and singing. I had a little snare drum with some brushes, and I would do harmonies. So we used to play that song.
Here's one of the most misinterpreted lyrics of a band song is from the song The Wait. The opening line, pulled into Nazareth. Everyone think that has some type of religious overtone. He's talking about Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah. It's one of those misunderstood lyrics where people think, oh, I got it. It takes on a total different meaning. Yeah. And speaking of different meanings, okay.
Nice segue.
Nope. you know what they called me in high school, Anthony?
Mr. Segway.
They called me boy most likely to do a segue. Again, I won that. I won that award in my sophomore year. I was basically a segue champ.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me.
I never knew that about you. It's an honor to be in your presence.
Listen, it's something that I think we all have a gift. Like your thing is, you know how to make spaghetti. Anthony, Adam knows how to wash hair. Okay, things like we all have something that we're very good at. I happen to be very good at segues.
And speaking of segues,
so we are in the summertime. You see the seamlessness that goes on here.
Yep.
Okay. Things are happening right now that you have no idea they're going on behind the scenes, but we just make it look so easy, folks. It is summertime. And last week we started talking about Rolling Stones top 10 summertime songs. And I think we all pretty much hated the list. We didn't agree with a lot of the songs on it, especially the top 3 were just brutal. So we thought we can do a better job. So our task this week was to come up with a top 10 list of summertime songs. So let's start it off. And what do you think we should do here, Adam? Should we just go in order and we each do a list, or should we go each do like 10, 9? What should we do?
I think we should just go. We should just go in order. So each of us gives number 10, and then we go that way.
Sounds good. So start us off. What was your number 10 summertime song?
So number 10, I picked a song that just this is a song from '83. It just kind of reminds me of, and I was a kid in the '80s. It just kind of reminds me of summer. It reminds me of roller rinks. It reminds me of. I would hear this a lot on the boardwalk, and this is a band that I don't really hear much of, but this is the Motels, Suddenly Last Summer.
It's on my list. I'm going to get to that.
There we go.
Great one. So we already, the first off air, I said, you know what, Adam, I don't think we're going to have an overlap. First fucking song is an overlap. Yeah, talk about it, and I'll talk about it when I get to it. I have it much higher on my list, by the way.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, the Motels, besides Suddenly Last Summer, it's really just that and Only the Lonely, which is a great song too. But yeah, I'll wait for you to talk more about it.
All right, what'd you go with, Anthony?
Number 10, I am gonna go with I'm going Rockaway Beach.
Okay. Yeah, you know,
By the Ramones.
On my original list,
Yeah.
I mean, like when I say my original list, I wrote down a ton of songs. I mean, I thought this was very tough to kind of like eliminate songs, and I'm shocked at some of the songs I eliminated. That was one of them.
Yeah, you eliminated it. It was
on my list. Like I have to include it, and I didn't put it on.
I didn't necessarily put stuff in order. I wasn't sure if that's what we were going to do, so I randomly picked one to be my number 10. But I got like a list of 20 songs, and I'm going to be trying to figure out which
to pare it down,
which
right?
one. It's hard.
Yeah.
Even those 20.
Yeah. All right. So for my number 10 song, I picked the 2000 song from Matchbox 20, Bent.
Bent?
Which is, yeah.
I don't know this one.
It's a great video. In fact, this was their only number 1 song in their career. I really thought that they had more. I think Rob Thomas may have hit a number 1 on his own, and maybe the one with Santana. But as a band, as Matchbox 20, this was the only one in 2000 that went to the U.S. Billboard number 1. And I just remembered, if you remember this video, this was about a guy having a really bad day. And like he gets into a confrontation on the street. He gets mugged. He loses his wallet. There's a lot going on in this video. But it was just like that haunting guitar, the way, the angle, the way this video came out. And I just remember like that was one of those songs that seemed to be on the radio all the time and was just backed up by a great video. So for me, my number 10 song, Bent by Matchbox 20.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Ant, you want to go with number 9?
Okay. I don't know if I have like a whole thing like you guys do. I thought we were just doing it like a list, but okay. No, this is my number 9. It's from a band that I don't necessarily even like, but they have
East Street
really East Street Band. They have some undeniable singles, and I never really got into a lot of the deep cuts, but I went with Sublime. What I got?
Oh, that's a great one.
That's a good one.
It's probably the best song they ever wrote. And
I don't know about that, but it's
Santeria is a
great one.
That is a good one too. But when this one comes on the radio or on a playlist or whatever, I get excited still. And this song is what, 25 years old at least?
Yeah, it doesn't seem it though, right?
No, we're old, but
but it still holds up.
It holds up. Song. It still sounds fresh to me.
Somehow
anyway,
the lead singer is dead, but they're still touring.
Yeah,
and he died right before that album too.
Yeah, it was
the
a couple weeks,
self-titled
right?
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I will go, and then we'll go with Adam. So I'm going to go with my number 9 song is "Pulling Muscles from a Shell" by Squeeze.
Oh, okay.
1980. I mean, I just remember being like a kid and just being like, this was on the radio, like at every backyard pool party. You would always kind of hear this on the radio. And the funny thing about it is, this was, I think they were only on Saturday Night Live maybe once, but they performed this song on Saturday Night Live. And it's about a seaside vacation. But, okay, so it's about a seaside vacation, right? But the song is written while Chris Dilford is hanging out in a New York City apartment, just kind of like, just like during the summertime. And Pulling Muscles from a Shell has another like kind of sexual meaning as well. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. I didn't know what that was referencing.
Yeah. This must be a London thing or an English thing, but Pulling Muscles from a Shell, the little bit of a controversy that went with this title of the song is when you're kind of like diddling a girl. I'm trying to put it like so we don't get canceled right away.
I think that's the medical. Right. I read that in a medical dictionary.
Yes, that's Pulling Muscles from a Shell. But still, great snappy song. Great song, great summer song. Very light. Good, Adam.
All right, so I went to the 90s. One of my favorite artists in the 90s, Beck. And Beck's he's got a bunch of summer songs too, but I went with an underrated song. I went with Beer Can off of
Deep Cut.
Mellow Gold. Yep, Deep Cut.
Deep Cut.
And this is one that I think should be much bigger, this song. And it is, I don't know if you've even seen if you've seen the video for it too. This was the last single off of Mellow Gold.
I didn't know this had a video.
Yeah, it's really out there too. It's just, this is like a hipster barbecue song for the most part.
Ah, man.
I mean, you have the whole song is just about just having, getting your hands on beer, wanting to just ditch out on your job. The job here is being a leaf blower. And it's just partying. It's got some great lyrics like winos throwing frisbees at the sun. It's a really fun, funky Beck song. It does feel like it'd probably be more on Odelay. And if you listen to this right before where it's at, it just goes in pretty perfectly.
Is there a summertime memory that's connected to it?
No, just for me, this one just has a summer vibe to it. Just this whole barbecue. Even if you watch the video, the whole thing, most of it takes place at a barbecue. Because
years later, okay, when I was in high school, and we would go down to the Jersey Shore, or we would go, go see like bands, when that was like a big thing. I remember Pulling Muscles from a Shell was something that every cover band would play. Simple song, but catchy song. So you associate it with drinking beer, hanging out with your friends, and just like being outside. Okay, but you don't feel that with beer cans?
No, I it's funny too. I saw Beck. This was years ago at he was headlining Boston Calling Festival, and me and my friends go back to the hotel we're staying at, and we're at the bar, and Beck is there with his band. We're like, holy shit, Beck is here. So I'm walking over there. My friend, we're heading over to the bathroom. He walks right over to Beck. Beck's security guy comes over but he goes right up to Beck and he goes, Beck, he's like, you played so well. He's like, you know what? I have a request. Can you play Beer Can? And Beck is kind of like, what the fuck? Like, what? First, like, just get away from me. But also, like, he just goes, yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody really wants to hear that.
Wow. Do you know what his real name is?
Beck Hansen.
Yeah.
No, it's Martin
Campbell.
Isaac. It's Martin Isaacson.
Wait, what?
His real name is Martin Isaacson.
Nah, I think it's Campbell. Is it Campbell or Hansen? I forget which one is his real one.
A lot of people don't know this about Beck. He was a rabbinical student when he was a senior in high school.
I never heard that about Beck.
Well, because I'm lying.
I know.
All right.
I was waiting for that.
I will get us going to number 8.
I think it's Campbell, right? His dad was like a
soup manufacturer?
Like some kind of composer? Famous composer?
Campbell?
I think but
I
now
gotta
now he uses Beck Hansen, I believe.
I was never a big fan of Beck, although it kind of liked two turntables and a microphone. That was a good one.
Great song. Where It's At.
Yeah, Where It's At was also,
That was the same one.
And what was the first one? Loser.
Yeah,
that was off of Mellow Gold.
Yeah, that was kind of a fun song. And then he went in a completely different direction, which is kind of cool as well.
Well, he always went in a completely different. Every album for a while, up until the last few years, every album was totally different.
Which is good and it could be bad because you get an audience and they're expecting something similar, and then you can kind of lose them, or you can kind of grow your audience.
Yeah,
and the audience grows with you.
I think he had it was pretty hit or miss for a couple albums. Like, I really love Midnight Vultures. I think that might be his best album.
I'd agree.
And it was a commercial failure. It was just like a funk. It was like Beck doing a Prince album.
Yep.
And it was great. But that's not what people wanted.
I probably would like.
It's great.
My number 8 is I believe was the second single off of Tears for Fears' mega album, Songs from the Big Chair. And that was Shout. This was a #1 single in 1984, and even though the song came out in, I think it was November, that following year, I mean, this song really exploded, and again was all over FM radio. A lot of people kind of like think it's just kind of like a song about just kind of like release. It's really a political protest song.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, this a summertime memory for me is like Tears for Fears always seems like they toured during the summer. And I remember seeing them at Jones Beach, and they were just like really just such a great venue to see a summertime show. And their catalog goes deeper than people think, even though they don't have a lot of albums. They have they have multiple hit songs off of all their albums.
Yeah, Songs from the Big Chair is fantastic. You got Head Over Heels is that's an amazing song there. That's Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I think, is on there too, right?
It is. Mother's Milk.
That's a great one.
Talk, I think it's called. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. So that's going to be like my number 8. What would you say, Anthony?
All right. So a lot of my songs on this list are coming from some point in the 90s, because when I think that's when summertime was exciting. When I was like I was a kid in the 90s.
What kind of kid were you in the 90s?
It's pretty much like this.
Did you have long hair?
Yeah, I had long hair. I was in bands. Well, teen years. Right. I guess my hair wasn't as long when I was like 6 years old, but I was long enough.
It'd be funny if Anthony had like a waffle.
A waffle?
Yeah. It's like a 1950s haircut, like what Richie Cunningham would have had.
Oh, I never had that.
I said, come on. What would you song?
Okay, so, and this is a band. I also don't love this band, but you can't really, if you're at a barbecue and Sugar Ray's Fly comes on, I don't care who you are, you're getting down. It makes me want to eat a hot dog.
Right.
When I hear Fly by Sugar Ray.
Does it make you want to do this dance?
No, I don't usually want to do that. You know what it makes me do?
Baby.
It makes me want to stand up on the ceiling and dance. And in the video where they're dancing on the ceiling and on the wall.
I just saw him a couple of weeks ago.
Mark McGrath?
Yeah, he is on the Party Gras tour.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's working at Trader Joe's.
Well, he was a game show host or something. Do you think most people, most kids today, connect him as the singer of Sugar Ray or as a game show host?
I think they don't know either of those things. Young people missed both of it.
Anything that came out less than 3 years ago might as well be from the dinosaur age.
Well, when was he a game show host? Like early 2000s?
Yes.
Yeah, so young people, I was talking to some people in their early 20s recently, and they said that they learned about the early 2000s from those VH1 shows. Like I Love the 90s and all that stuff. Yep. So they did a 2000s one.
Those were great, those shows.
But that's how people... So if they know him if a young person knows Mark McGrath as a talk show host or as a band member, it's probably from one of those shows.
He was the co-host of Extra.
That's
right. That was another thing he was a co-host of, right? He was on a fucking Hollywood gossip show, but he was also the lead singer of kind of what would you say, they were like an alternative band?
Yeah, they were like an alternative rock band.
Yeah.
They were kind of heavy at first, and then they did Fly and all that stuff.
Flying every morning.
Every morning. Yeah, but
Which
the rest of the...
Those are the two songs that he did.
But if you listen to the rest of the songs on I forget what the name of the album was, the one with Fly, it's like there's some pretty hard rock stuff on there.
Yeah. They're not kind of like reminiscent of what the rest of the album is. Agreed. Adam, what would you say your number 8? We're up to number 8, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to go with an artist that we love and Anthony hates. I'm going with The Boss, Bruce Springsteen, and Sherry Darling off of The River.
Oh, great song.
And this was one that I didn't really know until he did the River tour. I went to 4 shows on the River tour, 3 of them at MetLife, and this was one of my favorites during when he would go and he would play the River front to back. If I remember right, he originally kind of intended this to have the same feel as like a Kingsman, like Louie Louie type song. And this is great. Like this is a song where he just, he's stuck in New York City driving his girlfriend's mom around, and all he wants to do is just get on the parkway and head to the shore. And it's just a fun, it has a fun song.
That could be any number of 24 songs that he sings about. But
this one just has so much more of a fun vibe to it.
The way he changed this one up, the girl's name isn't Wendy,
right?
It's Sherry.
It's not Rosalita. It's
right, but it's always Wendy. We're gonna get a big record contract.
Yeah, and I thought about doing Rosalita, but I figured Sherry Darling was so much more of a summer song
because it's light and airy.
Yeah.
Go with another one. What's number 7?
All right, this is gonna be the complete opposite direction. This is a song that reminds me of a summer, mostly I was just watching the video today. It's on a beach. It's more of a love song. Chris Isaak's "Wicked Game."
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But because of the video, I do associate that song with summertime.
Yeah,
and being by the beach.
The beach, yeah.
And who is the actress? Is that Helena Christensen?
Helena Christensen, yep.
Yeah.
Man, that is a hot video, too.
Yeah, it's very... You know what it is? I'm going to use a word that you would only use to describe like videos if you watch or read anything with Rolling Stone. It was sultry.
Right.
Sultry.
It was the complete opposite of Billy Squires' video.
Oh, yes. It's... Stop, Anthony, please. You're going to get us canceled. We're going to lose the small audience that we already have if you keep doing that dance. That song was I think it came out in 88 or 89. I guess it's kind of considered a 90s song because it didn't become big until 90 or 91 when David Lynch had it in Wild at Heart. I was just going to ask you, it was associated with a movie.
Yeah.
So wait, but was the video out in the 80s? Or did they make the video?
The video has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look at that. But I'd imagine the video was probably 89.
And if I'm not mistaken, is it mostly black and white, right?
It's all black and white.
It's mostly black and white. And there's one part where it's like a little bit color, but it's mostly black and white.
Yeah.
Like it's sepia.
Kind of like Schindler's List.
Right.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever equated Wicked Game with Schindler's List, but somehow we've managed to meld those two on this show.
You are the first to make the comparison.
What was your number 7 song, Anthony?
All right, I'm going with, so this is a band I actually do really like, and sticking with 90s because those were my glory days, I guess. Harvey Danger, Flagpole Sitta.
Oh, great song.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great. I don't care what season it is. I love the song. The rest of this album is great. Everybody knows this song, but the rest of the album is also front to back. I would say incredible. But yeah, this is This brings me back to some summer in the 90s.
Now, I'm going to be a little surprised if either one of you have this song on your list. This is my number 7. I don't know how it could be left off of a summertime list, but you guys may consider it lame. I consider it summer gold. All right.
boy.
It's the Beach Boys' Kokomo.
Kokomo!
I know you love that. It's summer of '88, number one song. Anthony, I know you love the video of John Stamos in his pink tank top, playing the steel drums. This was the big hit single off of the soundtrack from Cocktail. Couple of things about this song. One, there is no place called Kokomo.
It's made
People
up.
like to pretend that there is. I'm going to Kokomo. No, you're not. There's no place called Kokomo. Here's something else I thought was kind of interesting about this song. This was kind of like a get together, kind of almost a reunion of sorts with the original Beach Boys. Everybody was part of it except one member.
The most important one? Yeah.
Yes, Brian Wilson. And the reason why was because Dr. Eugene Landy, who had was like a Svengali who had a hold on him, wouldn't allow him to participate. Now, if you saw the movie Love and Mercy, okay, it really, and Paul Giamatti plays Eugene Landy. You saw what kind of control he had over Brian Wilson. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, technically, maybe their biggest hit, because this was a number one single.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're implying that Brian Wilson wanted to be part of Kokomo.
Brian Wilson, do you know the story with Eugene Landy?
No, just what you said just now.
Okay, so Eugene Landy was a person who he was discredited. He lost his medical license. Basically, for years he kept Brian Wilson away from the band. He kept him away from his family. He medicated him. He over medicated him, and he would just like use him as his vehicle, and just made money off him by making him write songs and just keeping him drugged up and keeping people away. And it really was his wife, who he's still married to this day, that basically saves him and gets him away from Eugene Landy. And they wind up suing him. And the guy is just like, again, like I said, just kind of like cast off, banished. But yeah, that was that was my number 7 song, Kokomo.
And
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I think the Beach Boys and John Stamos played Kokomo in an episode of Full House.
I was going to say that's my big memory of the song is from that episode.
Anthony, when you lived in New York, did you live in Brooklyn?
I lived in all the boroughs.
Okay, so you did. Okay, so in Brooklyn, in Coney Island, right across from the aquarium, there used to be this band shelter. And every summer, they used to have incredible concerts. I mean, I remember seeing Hall & Oates there. Huey Lewis and the News was there. I saw Frankie Valli there. I saw Liza Minnelli there. Christopher. Like really like big names. One year we went to go see the Beach Boys. They were there. I mean, and this was completely free. And John Stamos was on stage playing the steel drums with them.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Did you go, have mercy?
I did say that, yes.
And he was like, not the hair.
And I made my nieces go, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, God. This show could only go off from here. Go ahead, Adam. What's number 6?
All right. So speaking of Brooklyn, this is a Brooklyn-based band right here. My number 6 is Animal Collective, Summertime Clothes.
Okay.
And I don't think Jeff knows Animal Collective.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
This is 2009, and
can you get two different guys on different ends of the spectrum? I went with the most commercial song ever recorded, and you're going Animal Collective.
Yep.
Kokomo to Animal Collective.
So this song just reminds me of summer in New York City. It starts with the sizzling of it's like a sizzle of almost the heat off the pavement, and it's just a fun psychedelic kind of song. It's also reminds me of music festivals too. Definitely one to check out. Anthony, you know Animal Collective, right?
I know them. I don't know this song, I don't think.
Yeah, this is off of their kind of their one album with mainstream appeal, which is Merriweather Post Pavilion. And they have a bunch of like the whole songs. They have a Beach Boys type sound, but more psychedelic to it.
Okay. I remember at the time I was not into this kind of stuff so much. So there's a few bands I missed out on back then that I'd like to revisit. Them and the Shins. And
yep.
It's the reason why on this show we need to be able to play music. This would be the perfect time to kind of like, the way you described it makes me now. I would like to hear it. I would like.
Well, I tried to do the sizzle.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear a little cut off of it. Andy, what's your number 6 song?
All right. I could have put this at number 1, but I would be too embarrassed. This is another band I don't really love, but this song is summertime for me. In the late 90s. It's a song by the band Len.
Oh.
Steal My Sunshine. I'm picking that one. It's a goofy song. It's maybe even more lame than Kokomo, but I like it. It gets me pumped up. Gets me ready for summer.
I like when Anthony picks something lighthearted and frivolous. Yeah. It doesn't have to be dark and brooding.
So
it is a fun song. It makes me happy. I don't know why.
Yeah. I had that one on my list also.
Sucks.
I took it off my list, but it was it is a fun song. It kind of reminds me of Weezer's Sweater Song.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Okay.
What do they sample? They're sampling I don't know. I should have looked it up.
Yeah.
It's sampling a really big song.
There's still time for you to look at that.
All right, I'll look it up while we're talking about it.
Look it up. I go over my number 6 song, which is Dark and Brooding. Okay. I went with the 1983 number 1 single, Every Breath You Take, off of the Synchronicity album. Now, this was a great summer tour. I went to it. Shea Stadium. The Clash opens up the show. Okay. I mean, this is really like kind of big. I mean, this was all over the place. This pretty much started at the end of winter into fall. And then this song was just a monster and just kept going everywhere. A song that people just don't really get. There have been examples or people would play the song at their wedding. It would be their wedding song. And it's really a song about a possessive lover. And the backstory with the song is Sting wrote the song while he was having a relationship with his current wife, Trudy Styler. However, he was already married.
That rascal.
And his wife at the time was the possessive one. Every breath you take, every step you make, I'll be watching you, because she kind of suspected that he was kind of fooling around with Trudy.
Oh, so to me, that makes the song less creepy.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like he's a stalker.
It is not.
It's his point, like it fits from his perspective.
This was the inspiration of the song. So think about it. If someone's so obsessed with an Anthony Kapfer, that they're willing, they're going to watch everything you do. They're going to look at, they're going to just focus. They're going to obsess upon Anthony Kapfer. That's a strange lady to begin with, but still. All right. I'm going to go back to back here. I'm going to try to redeem myself with something a little bit lighter here. And I'm going deep. I'm going back to 1963. If this song doesn't say summertime, I don't know what does. But we're also going to do, it's big by 2 artists. So the song is Heat Wave. And I love both versions. In 63, Martha and the Vandellas had a number 1 single with it. But then later on in the 70s, Linda Ronstadt had a great version of it too, which went as far as number 5. And it's not about temperature. It's not about, it's not like Summer in the City where, it's hot and just, it's more about burning love more than temperature. the difference between the two versions of the song it was a song that was given to Motown, so it was done in the Motown style. So the lead is a sax lead. When you get to the 1970s, Linda Ronstadt's version is a guitar solo by, I don't know if you guys remember an artist named Andrew Gold, who had a hit from the Boogie Nights soundtrack. Oh, What a Lonely Boy. That was Andrew Gold.
Okay. I don't remember that one.
Linda Ronstadt's pretty much known for having great musicians in the band. Basically, the Eagles came out of Linda Ronstadt's side band. So that's my number 5 song. Adam, number 5 for you.
Number 5, I'm going with the band on my shirt, the Hold Steady and Constructive Summer, which is off of their album Stay Positive. And this song, Jeff, I think you like this song. This song reminds me, it's kind of a combination of School's Out and Springsteen's No Surrender is what I would say this song is like. And it's just a great rock song. It's about just cutting out of school, drinking on water towers in the summer. And it has a great line later on, which says, raise a toast to St. Joe Strummer. He might have been our only decent teacher. Great song. Definitely want to check out.
Me.
Yeah.
I would like to check that out. That sounds pretty good. What are you going with, Anthony? Number 5.
Which number is this?
Number 5.
Number 5. All right. You know what? This is where all my guilty pleasures are coming out, I think. It's summertime songs. I'm going Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do.
Oh, it's a great one. Great summer song.
It is.
It brings me back the summer of '94. I think that's what it was out. I know it's not a cool song, but it's interesting because Sheryl Crow, I love so many of her hits, and I really have not tried to dig deeper, but I love pretty much every one of her hits.
Ah, man,
solid hits.
They're solid, yeah. I kind of I think of her and I don't know. Listen, we got 10 minutes and we got to get to
all right. We'll go fast. We'll go fast.
So I'm going to go number 4 here. For me was Adam's number 10 song, which was Suddenly Last Summer by the Motels. 1983 went to number 9. The way when she wrote this song, I love stories behind how artists wrote it. And she was just hanging out in her backyard and she hears the ice cream truck. Did you ever hear the story, Adam?
No.
It's kind of like a famous backstory on this. She's just hanging out in her backyard, and she, it's August. You ever hang out on one of those August nights, and it gets a little bit chilly, like you need a sweatshirt for the first time in 2 months, and you hear those ice cream bells ring, and this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to hear the ice cream bells ring until next summer. And that's where she kind of came up with the idea, hey, Suddenly Last Summer, and she wrote the riff. Sent it over to her guitar player. He was like, yeah, sounds like a hit. Went right back to sleep.
Wow.
and then they wake up and they go into the studio and they wind up recording, and they knew right off the bat that they had a huge hit on the hands. So that's my number 4 song, Suddenly Last Summer, The Motels. So far I like all this a million times better than Rolling Stone's stupid list. What do you say, Adam?
All right, I'm going to go mainstream for the next 4. So,
so
number 4. Originally, I was going to have Sublime doing Time. Since we already talked about Sublime, I'm going to go with another artist from the LBC. I'm going with Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice.
Oh,
that's a great one. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, okay.
Who can't think about sitting in a car?
I know. That's
sipping on June juice.
Laid back.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I just heard that the other day driving around.
Yeah, I know it, and that didn't make I had like about 30 something songs that I just said I have to put it on, and that was one that I just skipped over. But yeah, obviously a great choice, man.
Yeah, really good.
With that,
I should have I didn't put any hip hop on mine, but
that's we're seeing fun, Anthony.
I think hip hop is very fun.
So what's your number 4 fun song?
Okay, my number 4 is not.
It's all about
not
segues,
very fun.
Segues and callbacks.
Is this the second to last one that I picked from the 90s? I'm going Smashing Pumpkins 1979.
That's my next pick.
Okay, well then you
that
talk
is
about
a great one.
We'll go fast. We'll go through it fast. You talk about it.
No, I mean, this I think is an ultimate nostalgia song, and I think it's just one that gets
as well.
This
right?
is my number 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is one that just gets better with just, it was such a great hit with Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, and I just think it just takes you back, even though it was set in 1979, it still just feels just as current.
Yeah,
you guys know who won the World Series in 79?
79. Well, the Yanks won in 78, so 79 was.
I know it wasn't the Cubs.
I think it was the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay. I'm glad I interjected with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Then
sometimes the segues, it's not all gold every time. Right.
Listen, this is what you get when you pay for when you don't pay for something, folks. I'm going to go.
You can't bat 1,000. You can't bat 1,000.
I can't bat 1,000. But I'm going to redeem myself with my number 3 pick here.
Yeah.
Okay. How can you not put this on your list? Saturday in the Park, Chicago, 1972. Robert Lamb just hanging out in Central Park while they're recording Chicago 3. And he's watching like what goes on in Central Park. He's watching singers, he's watching dancers, he's watching jugglers. This charted at number 3 on the Billboard charts for them. It's such a fun, easy song. The horns obviously are great. I think it really captures Chicago's feel and style and vibe. It's jazzy and it's pop at the same time, but at the same time, it's not corny. I think it's a great song, and even to today, 50 years later, the song still holds up. So Saturday in the Park. Right. And your number. We're up to your number 2.
My number 3.
Your number 3. Go back to back. Go 3 and then go 2.
Go 3 and 2. Okay. My number 3 is Surf Wax America by Weezer from the Blue Album. And my number 2 is Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes. Not a 90s song, but
yeah, that has to be up on a list.
It has to be on the list.
That's a good one. What are you going with, Adam?
Number two. I'm going to go with the Kings of Summer, the Beach Boys, Good Vibrations.
I had that on my other list. Yeah, that's a great one. For Pet Sounds.
No, that was Good Vibrations is
I think it was a single.
USA. Surf USA. It was originally, I think, supposed to be on Smile, and then it was when Smile didn't come out, it was on.
Are you sure? Wait, Good Vibrations. It
wasn't on Pet Sounds, but it was. He wrote it around the same time. I think he released it as a single, and he didn't want to put it on Pet Sounds. Is that?
I thought he put it on Pet Sounds, but
hold on, I got Pet Sounds right here.
It's not on Pet Sounds.
Here's Pet Sounds.
Just real quick.
Nope, it's not on it.
But it's from that general time period.
Okay. Then that's not cool. That's not good for me. I thought that was a Pet Sounds song. Number 2 for me. When Doves Cry, Prince, 1984, man. I mean, that was all over the place. It was the lead single from Purple Rain, and it was Prince's first number 1 single. Comes out in June 84. And I mean, the song, everyone knows it, is so iconic, and the video. And even though we hate Rolling Stone, it was still number 37 on Rolling Stone's top 500 greatest songs. All right. So we have about 2.5 minutes left to go here. Let's wrap up our number 1s. Go ahead, Anthony.
All right. My number 1 summer song is the B-52's Rock Lobster.
Great song. I have that on my list here as well. That's a great one. Just so much fun.
It's the ultimate party song.
It really is.
Find me a party song better than Rock Lobster.
It's the type of song where you have a keg, you have people running around in shorts and T-shirts, and that song is in the background, and life doesn't get any better.
Right.
That's a great one. That's a great one. That is such a New Jersey, Staten Island thing to do. It's good times. Adam, your number one summer song.
My number one is Don Henley's "Boys of Summer."
Oh, okay.
I thought you would maybe have gone with the Ataris.
No,
I like both.
Yeah,
and I don't even like the Ataris, but I like that cover.
The Atari cover is pretty good too. And I mean, the main change is instead of the Grateful Dead sticker, they have the Black Flag sticker.
Black Flag sticker.
Like it's still pretty good.
Nice update.
Yeah,
I think.
It holds true to the song, yet they put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a little story about this one as well, because I mean we all know the song. We've spoke about it. The Eye of the Tiger from Survivor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Summer of '82. Off of the Rocky III soundtrack, written by Frankie Sullivan and Jim Petterick. Okay, hit number one. Now it's
Great
important
song.
for me to tell you why Jim Petterick. I want to bring to your attention. All right, so Stallone is making the movie, and they need a song for the montage. The training montage.
In
when
Rocky
he's fighting.
III.
Okay, for Rocky III. The song they were going to use was another one, "Bite the Dust" by Queen. Okay. Through negotiations, they couldn't come up to an agreement. They had to drop the song. Survivor had a couple of little minor hits, but Stallone liked the band, and he reached out to Jim Petterick, calls him up, and he doesn't believe it's Stallone and hangs up on him, much like the scene from Almost Famous. Okay, no, rock band, Rockstar. Okay,
Rockstar. Yeah.
All right, so then. He finally gets Stallone finally gets Jim Petterick on the phone and says, "Look, I need a song for this montage." Jim is like, "Do me a favor, send me the movie." He's like, "I can't do that." He goes, I have to see the movie." He sends the movie, goes, "But you got to send it back, and you can't let anything out." He's watching the movie. They're watching the movie, and the whole training thing. He's hearing this rhythm, this chugga 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 chugga. So he's able to come up with a riff. But so the music came kind of easy. The hard part was putting lyrics to it. And while he's watching the movie, right, he's hearing that. That's the rhythm of the fighting. And then he hears in the dialogue, "Gotta have Eye of the Tiger rock." And it just came together. And that's how it all happened. And that's the end of Dustin's Vinyl. We end with a segue. Our top songs of the summer, folks. All right, listen, folks. This was a great one. If you like the show, please subscribe to us. Please continue to support us on whatever we're on. We're on everything. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. Okay, just please continue. And Dustin should be back next week. I'm probably going to be away here for the next 3 weeks, and I will see you guys on the other side of Labor Day. So have a great one, everybody. Take care. Yeah, I gotta go. Bye. Bye, guys.